Hello, 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 divas. It is Coach Twy here with Fit, Fine, and Fabulous. Happy New Year once again. We are halfway through the first month of a new year, and hopefully, you are still on your trek to healthy living, healthy eating, becoming a better you. Hopefully, you have not quit. Hopefully, you have not given up on your goals, on your dreams, or any of those things. Hopefully, you are still on track. This call is for us to just reconvene, for us to connect about where we are in our journeys, for us to reconnect about the progress we've made so far, and about where we're going in the future. So, if you are on the live, please connect with your partner, tag her in the group, and let her know that we are live and direct. Let's get it going. I'm going to tag some ladies to let them know we are live. I thought I had already, but looks like I did not hit enter. Hey sis, we are live on YouTube. All right. Hey there, Miss Glenda. So glad that you are here. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining. We have lots going on this January. I'm not sure how activated our ladies are about January. So if you are here, please say hi and hello. Let me know that you are in the house. I'm going to ask a few questions just to kind of level set as to where we are, like mentally, when it comes to our health. How many of you have meal prepped for this week? Let me know in the chat if you meal prepped for a few days, if you meal prepped for the whole week, if you meal prepped just one meal. Let me know what you have planned already, because that will help us to indicate your plans for the week. If you're planning on being healthy, there's no way for us to be healthy, engaged, focused on losing weight without meal prep. Meal prep is the center of our success. So Ms. Glenda is saying that she has meal prepped for the week. Hey there, Miss Tammy, let us know if you've meal prepped as well. In fact, we're near the end of our day. So ladies, I would love to hear what your progress is or isn't so far this week. If you had to give yourself a grade for your meals, what grade would you give yourself? What grade would you give yourself for all of your meals so far today? Now, if you've skipped a meal, please don't ding yourself for skipping meals. Ding yourself if you've eaten horrible food. Ding yourself if you've binged. Ding yourself if things are gone way off track. But if maybe you left your food and you did eat unhealthy, hey, it's a mistake. You can't ding yourself for making mistakes, right? We all make mistakes. But if in that mistake you decided to grab a burger, then ding yourself. But if in that mistake you did not eat badly, that deserves celebration, not a ding. So let me know, let me know. Tammy says that she gives herself an A for today. Glenda says that she gives herself an A for today. Congratulations, ladies. So that is good, good, good. So the only person that I've seen that have said that they have prepped is Glenda and Shantae. Shantae has also prepped through Wednesday, and she also has given herself an A for today, which is amazing. Congratulations to you, Shantae, Glenda, and Tammy. Now, for when it comes to the rest of the week, we have just finished our Heal Your Hormones challenge, and I am just curious to know one solid thing that you learned from that challenge that you're going to take with you further. Let me know what your thoughts about one solid thing that you've learned. We are already planning on as well scheduling our healthy habits workshop, and it's a healthy habits for life workshop. So if you're looking to not just have great habits during a challenge, but to also just embed them into the rhythm of your life, the workshop that we have planned for you, you should definitely be in the house. Tammy says, I prepped yesterday and today, and I will finish on tomorrow. So I love how you're doing it bit by bit so that you're not overwhelming yourself. That's amazing and awesome. That's how it should be done. And we got to keep going in that same vein. So, how many of you plan on joining us for the Healthy Habits Workshop? Because you want to learn more about how to build systems, how to create an environment, how to actually be healthy for life without this just being a temporary thing that you kind of fall out of. If you plan on joining us for that workshop, type me in the chat. And because there's so few of us on the call, I would love to use the ladies who are on the call to help design and decide when when um when we should actually host this challenge, or this workshop. So I'm thinking, instead of it just being a workshop of a few hours, I think that maybe what we should do is we should make it like a challenge where we have one assignment a day, but it's really related to healthy habits. What are your thoughts about that? Shantae, Glenda, Tammy, are you guys or do you prefer a long workshop? Because it'll end up being 3 to 4 hours. Otherwise, we can do it like a challenge. I like the idea of doing it like a challenge because we end up breaking up. We end up following re-emphasizing the habits that we discussed during the workshop, which is taking things in a bite-sized view versus just trying to do the whole thing, trying to do it all at once. So instead of the whole 4 hours at once, we would just break it up into small, maybe 15, 20-minute sessions. Glenda says the challenge is good. Shantae says the challenge is good. I kind of am feeling that as well. And so this Tammy. So then what we will do is probably the first week in February, we will kick it off with the Healthy Habits Challenge. And that challenge will also have a little tinge of self-love. I'm a little bit confused and concerned about our lack of participation. Usually, at the top of the year, we have so many ladies who are engaged and participating. But this is the first time in a very long time we don't have a ton of ladies who are excited about the new year, excited about their goals. What do you guys think it is? I see that you guys are active and you are participating. What do you think it is that there aren't ladies who, like tons of ladies who are just, I mean, it's the beginning of the year. Normally, this is when people really lean into wanting to be healthy, wanting to do better. Let me know in the chat what you think. So that's one thing. The other thing is also in February, we will be kicking off our actually next week we will be kicking off our Failing Forward book club. So this week I am challenging you to read chapter 1 of the Failing Forward book. You guys should already have that book. We talked about this in December. We talked about kicking the year off with our 10-day challenge and then moving directly into a book club that will help us with our mindsets around, even if we fail, we're going to fail forward. I love that book. And I do think that that book will help us in a way. So again, I'm going to ask it again. And hopefully for the few ladies who are on the call, I'm interested in hearing and knowing, why do you think that there are so few people actively participating? Maybe that first week we got lots of folks, and then week 2 they just kind of fell off, and it's like, whoa, I don't usually have to work this hard to get people engaged in January. January is an easy coaching month because everybody's already self-motivated because it's January. But Glenda says, I honestly think it's just life challenges, new jobs, loss of jobs. It's just life. Yeah, it could be. It could be. What else? What else do you guys think could be or might be going on? I don't know. I don't know. But even still, let's talk about our book. I'm going to encourage ladies who signed up for our walking challenge, who signed up for our Heal Your Hormones challenge. I'm going to encourage them to read along with us with our Failing Forward book. So if you already have the book, go ahead and type book in the chat. If you already have the planner that we're going to be using for our Healthy Habits for Life challenge, go ahead and type planner as well. So I'm hoping you have the book and the planner. already. Shantae says a lot of people have been sick. Oh, friend, that's probably what it is. So many people in my inbox. You're so right, Shantae. They've been saying, I am sick. I'm sorry. I can't participate. That is it. That is it. It has definitely been a rough sick season. I didn't even connect the two, Shantae. Thank you. Thank you for that. Eleonora, hey girl. She said it's a challenging time for a lot of people, very stressful. Life is lifing. Could very well maybe that is it, but I do believe Shantae hit the nail on the head when it comes to people just being sick. Glenda has her book and she has her planner. Shantae has her book and she has her planner. So great. So I am looking for you guys to read chapter 1 of Failing Forward. And then when we meet and convene again on next Monday, we will do a small little book club discussion about that. We will also talk about our upcoming challenge, which would be our Healthy Habits for Life. We're going to condense that into a challenge as well. Now, I forgot my previous question. I would love to hear from the ladies on the call. Tell me something that you learned from the Healthy Heal Your Hormones Girl challenge that you can take with you moving forward. Now, a lot of times we get all of this information and we aren't able to, remember every last thing. But if there was one thing that you could pull from the challenge that's going to bring you success in the future, or maybe it has you thinking about with things in a different way, like let me know in the chat what is something you learned from that challenge, some valuable thing. I hope you had the opportunity to listen to the videos. I hope you had the opportunity to read some of what's in your books, because that information is absolutely priceless when it comes to understanding your hormones and how your hormones work in your body. So hopefully you've had the opportunity to do that. Tammy says sleep is so important. Man, it is like the weight loss secret that it's really not a secret, but folks act like it's a secret. Everything that you do is balanced when you get your sleep on, and it's good sleep, good restful sleep. All your hormones are getting together, all the toxins are getting out, all the fat is releasing, all of the muscles are being restored. Again, most importantly, the hormones are being regulated. All of that is happening when you sleep. So if you don't get good sleep, then you're jacking up your hunger hormones, you're jacking up your female hormones, you're just jacking up everything. So that is a great one to remember, Tammy, that sleep should be prioritized. Sleep should be prioritized. Shantae says, let go of those fat belly foods. Yes, just realizing what the fat belly foods are is key, right? Just knowing what they are. So knowing that certain foods will cause you to bloat that may not cause other people to bloat, simply because you're sensitive to a certain thing. You need to be paying attention to those items as well. Tammy says, how do I get the book? I was dealing with family issues in December. The book, I'll send you the link to it. It's a book that's actually on Amazon. I think it might even be in my Amazon store. It's Failing Forward, but I'll drop the link in our app so that you are able to easily get it. Hopefully you also have the planner. So I'm geeked and excited about us reading this together. I was just hopeful for there to be more women who were doing this together, more women who were just really into wanting to heal their health. So you should count yourself as special. You should count yourself as unique and above, simply because there are so many women who are choosing not to deeply engage, whether it is because they're sick, whether it is because they're placing priority on something else, whatever the case might be. But let me ask you this: since you are here, you're on the call, why are you leaning in? Glenda, Tammy, Shantae, Eleonora, why are you leaning in? What is making you dedicate the time to jump on a call, dedicate the time to read and listen to your lessons, dedicate the time for you to go walking and drink your water? Like, what is making you lean in? I am very much curious to know what is going on in your psyche where you're like, you know what? I am going to do this regardless. What's happening for you? I'm very, very, very curious to know. I'm also again curious to know the inverse. Like, why aren't people leaning in? Yes, we are sick. A lot of us are sick. I have gotten those messages that, oh, coach, I can't. But then, it's what's today, the 19th of January. Some of the ladies who have reported being sick at the first week of January, I still have not heard back from them. So it's almost like the sick, you could have gotten sick, and then you're not able to refocus back on your goals. Shantae says, I can't quit on myself this time. Tell me more about that, though. Like, why? Right? I love that mindset, but I'm just like, how did you get there? Like, why can't you quit on you? I'm happy you don't want to, but I'm just curious to know, like, why can't you, Shantae, like, share? Hey there, Patricia Wilson. So glad that you joined us. Glenda says, my health is my priority. I'm putting me first, and I'm happy and I'm proud and I'm elated that you are. More importantly, like, at least for me, selfishly, I'm happy that you're doing it with us, right? You guys all have a choice to do your weight loss however you want to do it, with whomever you want to do it. I call it a blessing for us to do this weight loss thing together, Glenda. So thank you for doing that with us. But I am curious to know, why is your health a priority? Why are you putting you first? Because when I'm able to understand the why, I think I'm able to help more ladies get to where you are, because I feel like you and Shantae and some of the ladies on the call are further down the spectrum of waffling between, I want to do it, can I do it, I am doing it, I'm keeping doing it, and this is my life. Like, there's a whole continuum of that, and a lot of ladies fall in the beginning, like, I want to do it, and the waffling between doing it and wanting to do it, and most times it's I want to do it, and you're not actually doing it. So I'm just curious to know, what is driving your priority, Glenda? What is driving putting you first? Tammy says, I have to get back on track. Last year I had to move. My dad was ill, then he passed, and life was life last year. And I'm I was there for it. I was there for it. I saw it. I feel blessed to have had the opportunity to speak life in some of your situations. Tammy, thank you for being so transparent. But truth be told, people go through things in life, like we just talked about that. People go through things in life and then they still quit. What is causing you to return back to, what, all of that happened, and even while it was happening, you were still trying to maintain some kind of resemblance of something, right? Whereas others aren't going through half of what you're going through and still are just hoping and wanting to be better, but not actually be better. So I'm gonna just question you, Tammy, like, why? Why did you return back? What is it that is driving you? Shanta says, I'm just getting older and being more cognizant of my health. And I think, that's so good, Shantae, because it's almost too, like, I think we're being more cognizant of our mortality. I think for those of us who are 50 and older, 60 and over 70 and older, I mean, we have more days behind us than we have in front of us. And we have to begin to really think about the quality of the life that we're trying to live. Like, can I really live my best life? Can I really show up as a better version of me if I'm unhealthy? If I'm unhealthy, right? So, Patricia, Eleonora, Glenda, Tammy, I would love to hear your why. I love what Shantae said. Shantae's like, I'm just getting older and I just got to get it together. And Shantae said she's definitely going to get past. She just can't quit on herself. She's definitely not quitting this time. And a pause doesn't mean a quit, right? So even if you go a week without connecting, that's not quitting. That's like a pause. You take a pause, but then if you get back to it, like what Tammy is doing, maybe Tammy took a pause because life was life, but she came back to it. And what I'm trying to get us to see is, what is it about you and where you are that's making you get back to it, right? Making you get back to it. So Glenda says, it's so many people. Come on. Come on, let me read it. I don't have on my glasses, but let me read it. So many people that are my age with so many health diagnoses. I really want to live for myself, for my children, for my mom, healthy. So I am closer to 100 than I am to 1. And that's something. Now that is the reason. Now that sounds like something I could get behind. That's a deeper situation than just saying my health is my priority. Like this puts it into perspective. At least for me when I'm reading it. Glenda, you paying attention to what's happening with your peers, people who are our age and where they are. Like there are people who are our age that aren't waking up from their sleep. There are people who are our age that are experiencing strokes and debilitating strokes. There are people who are our age who are having to take pill after pill all day long. There are people who are our age who have pretty much given up on looking the way that they desire to look, like, oh, that's just not going to happen in my lifetime. Or people that have just given up on the type of life, like a healthy life that they truly desire, but have just given up on it. Like, oh, well, it's not going to happen. So why even try? I'm just going to live the rest of my days as happy as I can. But who says that? Who says that eating junk and feeding poison into your body is actually happy? Right? Who says that? The more junk we eat, the more junk we put in our bodies, the worse our arthritis is, the worse the pain in our knees are, the worse sleep we get. So who says that that is actually a happy thing? It is. It is not. It is not. Right? Tammy says what Shantae said. I have to get healthy for my husband, and I have to get healthy for my son. Now I do appreciate that. Now I am looking at your picture here on YouTube, Tammy. I think I tried to put it on the screen. And even your picture in YouTube, your face looks way smaller now. I mean, do you see it? Let me know in the chat. But your face on this now, it looks way smaller than it does on this picture that you put up on YouTube. I don't know when you did it, but you've really changed your outward appearance. And when we change our outward appearance is usually because we're changing something on the inside, like inflammation. Our inflammation markers are going down. So I'm super duper proud of that transformation that you can see. Shantae says, and after my divorce, I realized I am now living alone and I need to take care of myself. Can we be any more transparent? We cannot. And I think, Shantae, that your transparency is going to yield your true transformation. I really do believe that for you. You've been like so transparent for us, with us, since you started, since you joined, since you actively started participating. Well, one thing that I pray, Shantae, is that we are who you need in order for you to get to where you're desiring to go. I pray that we are giving you the tools, the sisterhood, the love, the accountability, the motivation, the desire for you to rise higher from where you are to where you desire to be in your own space. I pray that you feel that you could change your words from saying, and after my divorce, I realized that I am alone, because you're not, right? You might be physically living alone, but you're absolutely not alone, especially when you have us. You're not alone in this health journey. I know you're not alone in your life journey. But in terms of your health journey, that you have sisters who are here with you, who are praying for you, who are encouraging you, who are uplifting you, who get happy when we see you. I get genuinely happy when I see Tammy's food. I go, Tammy on it. I get so excited when I see Glenda posting. And I know how busy this season is for her. And it's just exciting for me to see you prioritize you. And when you post, you are encouraging Shantae. And when you post, Shantae, you are encouraging Tammy. And Tammy, when you post, you are encouraging Glenda. It is like we are not in this thing alone. And I really do pray that we're doing what God has called us to do to help one another, and that we're not just trying to win for ourselves in this season, right? All right. Patricia says, I agree too with Shantae because Shantae's out here preaching the word. She said, I agree with Shantae. I want to do better with my health, but tell me why. Patricia, like, why do you want to do better with, why do you want to do better? Right? Like, just knowing that, hey, this is something that I want to do better at. That's, yeah, okay. I want to do better at my finances. I want to do better with growing my hair out. I want to do better with better organizing my house. Like, so many things I want to do better at, and for various reasons. And so, what I'm trying to get you guys to help me understand about you is, why do you want to do better with your health? Why do you keep coming back to this thing that you feel that sometimes you aren't able to achieve, but you keep coming back to it? I'm trying to get it out. I'm trying to understand it. Shantae says my coworker had a stroke on Christmas. Wow. Ooh, her coworker was 26 years old, was at work healthy on Tuesday, and by Thursday she had a stroke, and that was scary for me. Oh my God. Wow. What a not so gift on Christmas, right? Wow. Yeah, I mean, it really brings it into perspective when you see people around you, whose stents are failing, who's having to go to the doctor and get put on high blood pressure pills, who's getting their first diagnosis of pre-diabetic, right? Like, it is happening, it's happening around us. And I think that we think that we're greater than the diagnosis, but we are not. And I would hate for something horrible like the stroke that Shantae's coworker had at 26. Wow. I would hate for something awful to happen like that for us, or for one of our loved ones, before we decide, let me do better. Let me be better, right? Tammy says the old picture of me, it is old, isn't it? And now you need to update it, because the new you don't even look like that. You have transformed. I'm proud of that for you. Glenda says, I let her know often we are in this together. I love the sisterhood real big. That's so awesome. It's so awesome to read. It's so awesome to hear. So awesome to feel that we are connected to one another in this way, and in a way that is going to help propel us to be better. And let's even talk about how it's going to help us to prepare to be better for this week. Let us talk about some of the things that we want to and we are going to do just this week. This short week, today's MLK Day, it's Monday. We want to be able to make it to Saturday, having said that I did my very best, right? So, with that in mind, I would love for us to just talk about some things that we can do this week to get us there. Before we get into that, I want to read what Eleanor says. Eleanor says, one of my childhood friends, she died a year ago. Last week, she would have just been 54 years old. Wow. I mean, that is real. That is real. I know that my dad died in his late 40s. And at the time, I was what, 18 or something. I still thought of that as being old. But now on the other side of things, that was extremely young to die, right? I'm older. I've lived more years on the life than my dad ever will, right? And that's partly due to God's grace. It's also partly due to decisions and choices. Also partly due to just our makeup as people as well. So I know that those types of things, when they happen to us, that they really affect how we think about ourselves, but they can only affect us for so long. What's really important for us to realize is that these life-changing habits that we're trying to build won't last long unless you build systems to support them. Do you believe that? Type yes or no in the chat. And what I mean by systems, even before you answer, I mean, there's no way for you to consistently lose weight week after week without a plan, without a system in place of how to get there. What food am I going to eat? When am I going to shop? How am I going to track my progress? Like, that is a system supporting you, right? The system includes us not buying junk. The system includes us making our vitamins available, like maybe on the kitchen table. The system includes us setting up an environment to help support us. So yes, I know in the chat, do you believe it's true that, hey, sis, you're not going to be able to get to where you want to be unless you build a system to support it? It's all going to be temporary because you're going to only rely on, do I feel like doing this? If you don't have a system, right? So we need to be about our business of building systems to support our habit. And Tammy's here. Tammy says yes, she agrees. I know this to be true. Ladies, I hope that you see that this is system building, right? That's what this weight loss situation is. It is building an infrastructure of support of yourself for you, in order for you to foster habits that will get you from point A to point B. It is systems. So I'm going to ask you guys to share amongst one another. Now that we have a few extra ladies, we have Patricia on, we have Eleonora on, we have Glenda on, we have Tammy on, we have Shantae on. Let's share a few things, if you don't mind. Like, tell me one system that's helped you the most. Now, I know Tammy's lost quite a bit of weight over the time that she's been with Fit Fine and Fabulous, right? She's lowered her A1C. She's had more NSVs than weight loss, which is great, right? Which is great. And we know Glenda has lost over 100 pounds, and she continues to chip away at that, which is great. You can't drop your A1C and keep it down without systems. You can't lose that tremendous amount of weight and keep it down without systems. You can't even lose 10 to 15 pounds and keep it off without systems. So tell me in the chat, what is the top system that you kind of built out in your life? It's a set of processes that you do that is driving your continuous trek to health, right? All right, Glenda is on it. Come on, come on. Number one, and it is my number two, but I see why it's your number one. Because my number one is probably already innate. It's probably already a part of you. I'm going to share my number one here in a second, but Glenda's number one is meal prep. I can't do without it. So then let's continue to help and talk to Glenda, since she spoke first. So if you have to meal prep, if you have to meal prep and Glenda's lost over 100 pounds, or over 125 pounds, over 130 pounds over the course of a year and a half, she's been doing this. And very rarely do I see her say, I've lost 0 weight. Very rarely do I hear her say, I have gained it. Like almost every week, it is a system that's in place. So we have to understand then, if what's in between me and my success is meal prep, what is driving that consistency then? How can I protect that time? How can I build that into my life so that it is a non-negotiable for me? How can I move that to I'm gonna do this for the challenge, or I'm gonna try this and see, to I have got to do this. What are you doing to protect that time? Somebody in the chat, please share, because I know it's not just Glenda, because Patricia Wilson just said meal planning is it. Shantae just said meal planning is it. So if that's it, then we have to protect that at all costs, do we not? So then I'm just curious to know, how are you protecting that time? What are you doing to protect that time? If that action is truly your secret sauce to getting to where you need to be, how are you making sure that happens by any means necessary, week after week? What are you doing? Let me know in the chat. Now, for me, my number one is, this is like mindset stuff, right? Like meal prep comes, workout comes, water comes, sleep comes when I get my mind right. And sometimes my mind fall out of alignment with my goals. Sometimes my mind falls out of alignment with where I want to be. It's sometimes that gap. Sometimes that alignment, I'm out of alignment for a longer period than I want to be. Right. So I we got to figure it out. We have to be able to figure out how can we get and keep our minds right. Like that's my personal number one is mindset. It's 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 decisiveness. It's focus. Meal prep is an outcome of me having when my mind is right, I meal prep. When my mind is right, I walk. But if my mind is not right, I'm laid up any opportunity I get. So my focus more than anything is on protecting my mind, protecting my peace, protecting how I think about my health, right? But if that's already innate to you, like I think it is for Glenda, I think it is for some of you, it's not for me. Like that's something I work at, right? If that is something that you've already mastered, that's great. And your focus should be on meal prep and meal planning. And then you have to focus on, okay, well, how can I protect that space? And I'm looking to hear like how do you protect it? Glenda says, I can't go to the grocery store without my list. I won't shop off of it. Okay. Tammy says, making my meal plan every Wednesday and Thursday. So I'm assuming, Tammy, what you're saying is like it's an appointment for yourself. Like it is something that you're doing. It is not an optional thing. It is not a questionable thing. And it has been years. Tell me if I'm wrong, Tammy, but it has been years at this point. More than three, right? Of you giving me your meal plan between Wednesday and Friday. I don't think you missed maybe did you ever miss? And if you did, it was once or twice. And it's been 3 years. So somebody asked, well, how does Tammy look different than the picture in her YouTube? How does Tammy A1C get to be so low? How does Tammy body fat percentage get to be and maintain so low? Miss Ma'am has submitted a meal plan. I don't remember. Tammy says maybe she missed it once. I don't even remember the one time. In 3 years. Somebody do the math. 52 times 3. It's actually more than that because it's over 3 years, but let's just say it's 3 years. And we're going to say 52 times 3. It's 156 weeks. That's 156 meal plans. That's 156 weeks of consistency. And you can't even overlook that. You have got to see that that is the key to this is not going hard. It's not doing 75 hard. It's not going hard turkey, cold turkey and just doing green smoothies. It's not starving yourself. The key is something you could do week after week after week. The key is consistency. So you have to think to yourself, well, what can I do consistently? How can I make this work in my life? Right? Glenda says, everybody in my house is meal perfect. My children are my accountability partners. Amen. Shantae says, I have to build it in just like I do my lessons plan and my sermon prep. Exactly. We got all these preps, sermon prep. We got to turn in this meal prep. We got to turn in this meal like we are about to deliver the best sermon of our lives. It's just that this sermon is not just for Sunday. This sermon is a sermon that you preach with a fork, a sermon that you serve on a plate, a sermon that's between you and you. Right? It is your sermon for the full week. So having that as a testimonial will definitely take your results to the next level. Definitely, for sure. That mindset, how you think about it matters more than anything. Matters more than anything, right? I agree with you, Shantae. Glenda says, I keep the picture of me at 300 pounds in front of my mind at all times when I choose what I'm going to put in my body. And it's funny because I don't think the people know you like that. You used to post your pictures every week and you used to do that for years as well, at least 1 year. And I watched your body shrink and it was amazing. It still is very much amazing to watch and see. and pictures more than the scale is just so impactful. I really do think the key for you, Glenda, I mean, you know better than I, but from what I could see, is you following a system that works. It's the Find the Fabulous system. It definitely works. But what you take is you extract everything that works best and you leave the other stuff. You're like, oh, this food, this particular recipe works for me. This particular breakfast, oh, it's my favorite. So you gather all the best things, all the best techniques, and you repeat them. That is what I see your success is, and I'm grateful for that, right? Because it says my mindset has to be right. I encourage and talk to myself every day. Me too. Me too. Me too. Me too. It is like the utmost of priorities. So when we think about what's going on this week, I got to already ask. I think I asked already, and you guys said that you meal prepped for this week. And already I'm going to be giving the plan for next week. I'm going to be giving it to you on Wednesday. So just keeping that habit, even when we're not in a challenge, of thinking, man, I plan my meals. I think about what I put in my body. I am intentional about what I put in my body because I am intentional about how I look and how I show up in this world. Right. So we just have to keep that going, even without a challenge, even just being a part of the membership. So I'm going to ask you guys who are on the call, like for now, right? Like, because I think a couple dropped, a couple gained, I don't know. But we are the 19th. We have 1 week and 5 days left. So under 2 weeks left in this month. Do you have a plan for how you're going to end this month? I'm curious to know, how much weight have you already lost this month? And with those 14, however many, 13 days left in the month, how many do you plan on losing before the end of this month? Let me know in the chat. How many have you lost? Give me two numbers, which you've done already and which you plan on doing. I mean, that's if weight loss is your focus. If lowering your A1C is your focus, then we need to look at that. If lowering your blood pressure is your focus, then we need to look at that. But I'm very much curious to know. Very much curious to know, what have you already done by way of your weight loss this month? And then what do you plan on achieving by the end of the month? Because we want to be able to say that in January, we did our very best to reach our goals. And then in February, we're going to start our trek towards self-love. And for me, loving ourselves, right? Self-love is the cornerstone of all of this. So if you're actually able to take the time out of all the things that you do for everybody else, do for your boss, do for your coworkers, do for your church, do for your sorority, do for your friends, do for your family, you're doing all these different things, but you are able to carve out time to do for yourself. That is self-love. Like, you're gonna make this evident. We're gonna rise above what everyone else is doing, and we're going to call it what it is, and it's really just loving ourselves. It's loving ourselves. So if let me ask you this then. So if focusing on making sure we have healthy meals in our refrigerator, focusing on making sure that we're hydrating our bodies and taking care of ourselves is self-love, then what is eating chips? What is eating burgers on the regular? What is eating cake on the regular? Like, what is eating candy on the regular? And I'm not saying sporadically, I'm saying doing it on the regular. If being having a healthy mindset is self-love and doing all the things that are healthy is self-love, then what is it when we go the other way, when we are eating junk, when we are eating chips, when we are eating all the wrong thing? What is that? What is that? What would you call that? Right? Glenda says she's lost 10 pounds and she's shooting for another 10 before the end of the month. Wow. That would be so fabulous. I'm rooting for you. Patricia says, I've lost 5 and I plan to lose another 8. And I'm also going to lower my A1C. I hear you. I see you. I am blessed by that goal. So it sounds like you are looking to do 13 in January. That's amazing. Keep going, Patricia. Then if that's your goal, you have to eat like that's your goal. You have to sleep like that's your goal. You have to drink like it's your goal, right? Tammy says, I've lost 3 and I'll lose another 3 by the end of the month. So you're shooting for 6. I like it. I like it. Shantae says, I've lost 3. I want to lose 7 more and drop my A1C by at least a point. So do you know your A1C today? So we would have to know our current state of our A1C in order to know that we dropped it a point. Do you know your A1C today? So, and then are you scheduled to check it at the end of the month so that you can know if you reached that goals? Remember, SMART goals are things that we can actually measure. We can actually measure. So losing 7 and losing 3 and losing 7 more, that's 10 pounds. Oh, that would be a strong January, don't you think? That would be a strong January. Shantae said it's self-sabotage. So if eating healthy and focus on your health is self-love, I say it's self-hate, right? I say it's self-hate. We're hating ourselves. We're treating ourselves, we're discarding ourselves. We are feeding ourselves the very thing that's making us sick. That's hatred. Would you agree? Yes or no in the chat. If I'm eating stuff that I know is wrong for me, I know I have bad health indicators. I know I'm not the healthiest because my doctor told me I'm not, but yet I continue to eat those things that support the worst part of my health, then to me that feels like self-hate. Not just sabotage. It's you're not loving yourself. The opposite of love is hate. That's how I see it, right? So, and it's different modes you kind of go in, right? There are periods of time where I'm just heavy and I'm heavy on the self-love. I'm heavy on the self-love. Then there are periods of time where I'm heavy on the self-hate. And self-hate comes in the form of food. It comes in the form of thoughts. It comes in the form of actions that are not in alignment with the woman you desire to be. So we got to move out of that, right? We got to move out of that. Shantae says I have 8.3 and I see my PCP on the 27th. So we're hoping that it's down to 7.3. And that is in 8 days. 8 days. Yes, ma'am. You could definitely do it. Keep focused, keep focused, keep focused. Right? It's a numbing mechanism. Yep. Yes, it is. It's like a drug. It's like a drug, right? Then you don't have to face the reality of what's going on in front of you. Sometimes we use food to soothe the loneliness, to soothe the sadness, to soothe the boredom, to soothe. We use food to soothe the anxiousness, to soothe the sad thoughts, to soothe the anger. We use food. It's numbing. You're right. You're right. But in that numbing, we are not being very loving. We're not being so this week, right? I pray for us to be able to focus on those things that are going to get us to where we really want to be and not let life derail or detract us or begin to numb, usually food, right? For us to be able to recognize that this is what's happening. And I'm going to pause that. I'm going to do better. I'm going to feel better. I'm going to do better because I'm going to make better choices for myself because I love myself and I deserve that. So if we could, before we end tonight's call, can we end with a mantra for the week? What's your mantra for the week? And I can start. I need you to come up with one for yourself. Like everybody who's listening, I need one in the chat. Like for me, let's see. What is it going to be? I'm going to think about it and give a genuine one. For this week in particular, when I think about this week, right? I deserve the attention, the accountability, the support, the coaching that I give to others. I deserve to give it to myself. That is my mantra for this week. I deserve that. I deserve the same care and attention and support and accountability that I give to so many other people. I deserve to give that to myself. And that's what I'm doing this week. That's my focus for me this week. And if something comes in between me and that I'm redirecting that, not redirecting my health, not redirecting things that align with my health. That's mine. What is yours? What is your, before we go tonight, I want to hear from you, Shantae, Glenda, Tammy, Patricia, Eleonora, whoever else is listening. I would love to hear as we ride out this week. What is your mantra that's going to be like a theme for this week for you? For you. And I deserve it. Well, I'm writing mine out, writing it in my phone right now so I can remember it, so I can focus on it, so I can ruminate on it. The Bible says for us to keep our minds focused on those things that are good, that are true, right? That's what we should be ruminating on, those things that are working well. So let me know before we hang up. Like I'm not getting off until I at least see a couple of these mantras, because it's the mindset thing. You are more important than the people you serve. That's really my mantra in a nutshell. But so are you. You are more important than the people you serve. You have got to serve yourself first, right? Glenda says, I owe myself the best version of me that I share with my job or other people. Amen. That's right. Why you get the scraps of your own self? You get the best, right? Shantae said, I am worthy of love and good health. It's my way of loving me. Come on. Ooh, that is a good one, friend. I like that. Patricia say, I can, I say, I can, and I will. And I say Ashe to that. Ashe. Yes, ma'am. You can say it, and you're going to do it, and we're going to be here to support you through it. That's kind of where we are. So for this week, and for the rest of this month, we're in agreement. We're connecting. Can we agree to connect? Can we agree? And I think most of us who are on this call have already been connecting. Even when it's hard, I see you connecting. But can we agree that we're going to be connecting this week? That we're going to be intentional about, hey, this is what I'm eating. Or, hey, I had something off today, but I'm back on in my next meal. I'm going to be intentional about sharing what I'm eating and what I'm doing and what I'm thinking in between all I have going on, because I know that when we share, we empower, we immobilize, we encourage, we support. So sharing really is caring in this instance. So thank you, Shantae, for sharing your mantra. Thank you, Patricia, for sharing your I say I can and I will. And thank you, Glenda, for sharing yours as well. I thank y'all for joining today. I do look forward to us reading and learning together, especially in these first 3 months of 2026. I look forward to us finishing our walking challenge together. I look forward to us starting our strength training together in February. I look forward to us moving on to our next challenge, our Healthy Habits for Life challenge, our workshop challenge. I look forward to those things with you. And with all of these activities going on in a healthy space, it helps support, hopefully it helps support your goal of where you want to be and your sistership and health. You got to surround yourself with people who are doing the things that you want to do. You're in the right place if you're looking to lose weight, feel great, get organized, and build systems in your life to support your goals. That's where we are. Well, all right, ladies. Thank y'all so much for joining tonight. I certainly appreciate you. I will see you again in the chat. For those of you who are part of the Heal Your Habits Girl Challenge, I will be removing and closing out that chat. We will be reconvening in the Fit Fine Fab Life chat. If you have signed up as a member already, if you are already a member, you don't worry, you're already in that group. We'll just start sending reminders there. If you are not in that group and you would like to join our membership, please do DM me or email us at VIPDivaSupport@FitFineFabulous.com. Thank you guys so much. Happy New Year. Stay focused. Reach your goals. Glenda, 10 more pounds for you in January. Reach your goal, Shantae. 7 more pounds in January. Reach your goals, Tammy. 3 more pounds in January. Reach your goals. Patricia, I know you want to do an additional 8. Let's focus on that. Let that drive your decision making this week. I cannot wait to see your stats on Saturday. Thank you guys for your time tonight. Have a good night. Bye, you guys. Thank you for joining.